This just in. It's that time again for the wrestling show to take a very cynical look back at representing the WWE. And live from the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, it's Monday Night Raw. Air date December the 18th, 2023. This episode is the road to the Royal Rumble. So let's get started with the show in a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
Lip really loves wrestling. He likes to talk about it too. If you like to watch wrestling like he do, come and join us on the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. Oh, baby.
Well, welcome to All Wrestling Show. I'm your most fickle host, Lip Hazlewood, and this is a very cynical look back at the latest episode of Monday Night Raw. So, before we start with the show, just a quick shout out to the non-competitors. That's right there, the glue that holds the building together. First and foremost, he is represents the authority figure, which is the general manager. He is the general manager. It's Adam Pearce. Next, getting all the pre-match interviews and all the backstage scoops, it's Jackie Redmond. And of course, heading into the ring, starting with the referees, it's Chad Patton, Danilo Amphibio, Daphne LeShawn, Eddie Orango, and Rod Zapata. And of course, letting everybody know who's about to fight and the results of such matches, it's the announcer, and it is, of course, Samantha Irving. And last, but certainly not least, it's the commentary crew, the play-by-play guys, the hosts, and I even call them the narrators of the whole damn show. They are the team of. Now, he's my personal favorite. I think he's the best out there, period, hands down. I certainly think he's a future Hall of Famer. He's a man with a raspy yet very soothing voice. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I got a man crush on this dude. No diggity doubt. He's Wade Barrett. And backing up, Wade Barrett is a longtime host of well over 25 years. It's Michael Cole. Now, without any further to-dos, let's get started with all the show. And we start with, it's big. We got ourselves the Judgment Day. I'm down to the ring doing a promo. It's Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest and JD McDonough. They opened up the show talking about, this is Judgment Day. The rise, that's the way to rise up for the Judgment Day and stuff like that. And they talked about their future tag team match with the Creed brothers, for them being number one contenders and such. And it's what's that? Rhea Ripley. Well, they talk about Damian Priest talks about the Creed brothers and saying, you know what, the next time when we fight, it's going to be the biggest day of your life. But for us, it's just a Monday. No, it is. This is just another working day for us. So I heard that one before, many times before. So, anyways, Rhea Ripley starts talking about Ivy Nile, how she's going to take her out at day one Raw, and then it's what's that? The comic relief. The comic relief comes out there. It's R-Truth, completely delusional. I'm not sure what they're doing with him. R-Truth. So he comes out there thinking he's still part of the Judgment Day, saying, "Oh, you put me through initiations last week," when they just kicked his ass because they don't care about R-Truth. Ugh, R-Truth, what a sad sack. So, anyways, not only R-Truth delusional, but my goodness, gives me sort of joy in my heart seeing him going bald. Oh, it's so good. I bet by the end of 2024 he would have a shaved head. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. Anyways, with that little criticism aside, it comes down to this. R-Truth start talking some whatever rubbish. And he starts saying, "Oh, hey, everybody's got a match. Rhea Ripley's got a match. The Judgment Day's got a match. And I want to fight too." So it comes down to, there was already a fight going on. It's called the Miracle of 34th Street Fight. Miracle of 34th Street Fight. And the match is supposed to be against R-Truth and JD McDonough. And R-Truth adds a little caveat to it. He says the loser of this Miracle of 34th Street fight will leave Judgment Day. And Damian Priest accepted. Damian Priest accepted amongst the Judgment Day. So this match here, it starts right after the commercial. Actually, no, it just starts right there. So this match was about 10 minutes long. It was pretty good. Jamie McDonough, R-Truth. Anything goes match. It's a street fight after all. And they do a lot of fighting. It was fun. It was a fun match. They take the fight outside there a bit. R-Truth tries to get some hugs in with Dominic Mysterio. Dominic is having a good time. Then Dominic throws him against the ring post. Doesn't really matter. Like I say, if you get thrown against the ring post and thrown through tables, doesn't really hurt anymore, I guess. But anyways, there's no disqualification. They carry on. Now, I think the WWE, they're having this little fascination about having someone's face land in someone else's crotch. I mean, they done that with Bronson Reed. Had his crotch hit with two different faces. So this time here, it's R-Truth, I guess, having his own pleasure, having a face diving right into JD McDonough's nutsack. And when he landed on his nuts, he just laid there for a good amount of time. He just enjoyed smelling the nuts on JD McDonough. It's like, really, R-Truth? Until he gets pulled out of the ring by Dominic Mysterio. Now, it's a lot of back and forth, this match. But it ends up with R-Truth on the second rope. And JD McDonough meets him up there, and he wants to do a move off the second rope, but ends up R-Truth sets up a table inside the ring. This is a confusing match. R-Truth, JD McDonough tries to turn things around with some sort of suplex, and then R-Truth lands on top of him. They fall through the table. R-Truth gets a pin. I guess that means JD McDonough is now officially kicked out of the Judgment Day. So, with that said, we move on. And it is Nia Jax. She's got an in-ring promo to do, so she walks down to the ring. And before she can say anything, Becky Lynch comes down to that ring, comes down to that very ring. And she's talking about, she wants a fight. She's looking for a fight. Now, Nia Jax, she's saying, the higher-ups, they really don't want us to fight. Because when it comes down to it, I will squash you. You're the size of my leg. And Becky Lynch is literally the size of Nia Jax's leg. Becky Lynch's face is gaunt as hell. She's looking more so every day. You would actually, if you only knew Becky Lynch from 5 years ago and then took 5 years off and watched it again, it's like you'd think, what is Becky Lynch's mom doing that damn ring? So anyways, Becky Lynch, it's hilarious. So she wants a fight. It comes down to everything. It comes down to Nia Jax. She gets a referee in the ring and then walks out. Now here's where it gets weird. While Nia Jax is leaving the ringside area, Becky Lynch decides to attack her from behind. And she starts giving a bunch of punches, just trying to punch down Nia Jax. Nothing's happening. The officials come in, separate the two, and then Nia Jax comes in from behind, and with one punch, Becky Lynch is almost knocked out. Wow. That says a lot. Becky Lynch will get killed with the match against Nia Jax. So, with that said, we go backstage, and through the whole day, Kofi Kingston's got the Christmas spirit, and he's walking around like, Teletubby Santa, like a Teletubby Santa, giving out gifts to the crowd, and he's going backstage giving gifts to people, and he meets with the DIY and gives some Johnny Gargano a nice a Yeet shirt, copyright permitted. So, anyways, with that said, it is DIY. They turn around and meet up with The Miz. So apparently, DIY and Miz are equal, or just the love fest happened. So forgiveness for everybody. Miz and Tommaso Ciampa, everything, water under the bridge. It's all fine and dandy. And then Jackie Redmond comes in there. She's talking about to The Miz and about Gunther, because they've got an Intercontinental Championship match tonight. Miz and Gunther. So, what happens? The match is right after. Miz wants to be 9-time Intercontinental Champion over Gunther. And there's nothing he wouldn't do to beat Gunther. And this match here was the match of the night. Gunther versus The Miz. It's about 22 minutes in length. This was a barn burner. This was a knuckle duster. This was a lot of back and forth, very competitive. Miz was clearly, he's bruised and bloodied on his chest, not completely bleeding out, but he was bruised like badly on his chest by the end of the match because there's a lot of slapping, chest slapping, whatnot. Now, the Miz, he pulls out the death lock, which is also called a trailer hitch, I believe. It's like a alternative version of a figure 4 leg lock. It's a leg lock. It's a leg lock. So, anyways, now this was Gunther. He was his big time in there, doing some serious damage. They take a fight outside there. Gunther gives Miz a powerbomb onto the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring. Took him a little while. The first time Miz couldn't engage his core to get up there, but then he eventually got there and got powerbombed down. Now, Gunther has this wear down move where he grabbed Miz, he draped him over the top rope, and then he starts trying to bend him in half by just stomping on his head and twisting backwards. It was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive what he usually does. It's his patented move. Now, after that, they take the fight outside. After he was bent over, Miz fell outside the ring. Gunther went after him and went with a chop, tried to karate chop the Miz, but missed. Miz ducked out of the way, and Gunther then slapped the ring post. And Michael Cole's like, "Oh, he broke his hand!" It's like, really? It takes a lot more than that to break someone's hand. But you know what? This is the typical Cody Rhodes trope, where not only do you have to try to win the match, but you got to do it while overcoming your injury. So this is exactly the same thing. Can Miz capitalize on the quote-unquote broken hand? Well, he does his best. But when it comes down to it, Gunther was just too much. Gunther with a massive dropkick, a power bomb to the Miz. You think it's over? No, it's not. Miz kicks out and eventually gets the skull-crushing finale onto Gunther. Will Miz be the 9-time champion? No. Gunther kicks out. They fight on. Miz eventually they fight over to the secondest of ropes. The very middlest of ropes, where Miz actually gets the second skull-crushing finale onto Gunther. But Miz was really worn out, and by the time Miz went for a pin, Gunther was rolling out of the ring. Rolling out the ring. And then Miz grabs him, throws him back in the ring there. And when Miz threw him back in the ring, that just signified the final moments of the match. This could have happened at any time of the match. Miz goes after Gunther. Miz gets picked up. Well, Miz goes into the ring. Gunther grabs him, throws him between the legs, and then power bombs a holy hell out of Miz. Second power bomb. And then after that, it's a short arm clothesline from hell. Just a massive clothesline, just drops the Miz down. And then another power bomb, and it's over. It's over. The Miz gets pinned. Gunther is retaining his Intercontinental Championship belt. And on in the back there, he meets up with the rest of the Imperium, and he talks to them that he's very not impressed with Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser, saying they haven't been pulling their weight in 2023. So here's the thing. Gunther, he says straight up, no, wrestlers send off for a vacation, like when you get beaten up. You're injured now you can take your official vacation now. So Gunther just says straight up, it's like, you got to prove yourself. But for me, I've already proved myself, and I'm taking the rest of the year off, baby. Didn't really say that, but he's going to take a few weeks off to have some fun with family time and whatnot. Who knows what he's going to do with this time off. But anyways, it's time for Giovanni and Ludwig to get their shit together. After that, it's the Teletubby. Kofi Kingston comes in there as a Santa Teletubby, and he insists that Ludwig Kaiser get a present into the block of coal. And I thought, oh, hey, this is going to be a match. It's Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. Could that be a thing? Well, no, it's not. And with that, we go backstage, or not really backstage, but a little bit of a vignette, or pre-tape segment with Shinsuke Nakamura. It's called Story Time with Shinsuke. It's called The Nightmare, the American Nightmare Before Christmas. He says this whole thing. But it comes down to this. This next is Christmas match. He wishes him Merry Christmas. And it will be his last match. I guess Shinsuke will put an end to Cody Rhodes' story. So, before he can finish, Cody Rhodes just had enough, and he attacks Shinsuke. And then they fight. They fight towards the ring area, fight into the into the crowd. Not really crowd. They fight through to the ring. They get to the ring. They fight to the commentating table where Cody Rhodes wants to put Shinsuke with the crossroads through the table, but as the officials come in there to stop things off, Shinsuke escapes with his life. At least he doesn't get put through a table, and that ends that. And then we go backstage. It's with Adam Pearce. He approves Akira Tozawa's match. Akira Tozawa asked for a match, and I guess Adam Pearce approved it. He says, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, I'm sure." So yes, Meme Zawa has a match. And then after that, we got ourselves a Piper Niven and your tag team champions, Chelsea Green. Now they find out that they got a big old match, and they don't want to fight tonight because it's a holiday season, and they should get the time off. And Adam Pearce said, "Well, you got a good point there," and the answer is no. So you better get ready because your match is next. So what is a match? It is the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Actually, before we get that, we have Bronson Reed coming in there, and he wants, now that Gunther is freed up, and Miz can no longer challenge for the Intercontinental Championship belt off of Gunther. Now, who's going to be Gunther's next challenge? Why, it's Bronson Reed. He wants that part. So now, the tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship of the world. Representing the tag team champions, your reigning and defending champions, are Chelsea Green and her partner, Piper Niven, who did nothing to get the belts. Versus, I believe Wade Barrett called them the Pipsqueaks, but they are teeny tiny team of Katana Chance and Kayden Carter. One small, one even smaller. Now this match here was about 4 whole minutes in length. 4 whole minutes. And it's hilarious too, because Gunther and this match here, the two championship matches, mid cards. I couldn't believe Judgment Day and R-Truth. Jay McDonough, R-Truth got the first main card match, the beginning main card. It's ridiculous. Anyways, regardless, this match here was a lot of back and forth. Lots of the back and forth. And, we got a moment here where Team Teeny Tiny, Team KC, they go for their, they call it the after party on the Piper Niven, which is the neck breaker and a 450 splash on Piper Niven. But however, it is Chelsea Green spoils it. She messes with Katana Chance, and then next she's on the ground. They both fall on the ground, and Piper Niven crushes them both with the Vader bomb. And I thought, that's it. I mean, that would have literally killed Kayden Carter. But anyways, match goes on. We got ourselves, I guess, Chelsea Green. She's got the move. It's now, I guess the official name is the Leaping Leg Lariat, but we all know it as the Fame-Asser. The Fame-Asser. But here we go. After that, match goes on. Chelsea Green and grabs Kayden Carter for the lung blower, holds her down, and then Piper Niven goes with the Santon, squashes her. But the match goes on, doesn't get a pin. And if I stop going backwards again, I'm gonna freak out with my. I've got slides going on for our podcast listeners. I'm always going backwards instead of forwards. It's really ridiculous. Anyways, Piper Niven then gets eventually. When I go back there, yeah. Well, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green gets kicked out of the ring there, and then it's Piper Niven gets super kicked in the face. That's it, a super kick in the face, and that was pretty much it for Piper. She gets they do the after party on Piper. But it's Chelsea Green, breaks up the pin. She drags Piper to the corner, tags herself in without the ropes. But the ropes were used like 99% of the time. Ropes really don't matter in wrestling. It's ridiculous. So then Piper's out there. She's hurt and she can't do anything. Chelsea Green tries to finish the match, but eventually she gets stomped, and she gets set up for the after party, and it is over. What's that? Kayden Carter gets a pin, and we got a new women's tag team champion. It is the team of the Pipsqueaks, Katana Chance, and Kayden Carter. I think combined they might weigh 200 pounds. Maybe 180 pounds. Combined. Okay. So now with that, we go backstage. It's with the Alpha Academy with Ivy Nile. And Ivy wants a challenge. Rhea Ripley with a World Championship belt. And with that said, we got ourselves Akira Tozawa. And we finally found out who Akira Tozawa is going to fight. And it is Ivar of the Viking Raiders with Valhalla at his side. The very curvaceous and very sexy Valhalla. With full makeup too. Her makeup job is getting much better. Much better. She's looking really good. Anyways, so with that said, we go backstage again with Kayden Carter, Katana Chance, and they're in celebratory mode. They want to celebrate their victory and their new champions. And Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, considering they're doing nothing, they might as well party with the tag team champions. And with that said, they leave the party, and then we got ourselves, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and the team I still can't believe they're still together. It's Tegan Knox and Natalya Bret Hart. So Natalya is still not ready, still not done riding Tegan's coattails. Because that's what Natalya does. She hooks herself up to a young talent to make herself relevant. And it's true. So anyways, they're saying that Katana Chance and Kayden Carter need new challenges. And I suppose this will be the next challenge. It's going to be Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler versus Tegan Knox and Natalya Bret Hart. Perhaps in their mind, they're going to be the next number one contenders. But it probably is, because the WWE and the women's tag division is just garbage. Just straight up trash. It got a very weak division. So, after that, we go into the ring with their big match. It is the Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa with Maxine Dupree at his corner. And, of course, versus the Viking Raiders, Ivar and Valhalla at his side. So, this match was size versus speed. And my goodness, I couldn't believe how much Ivar was working. It shows what a great worker Ivar is to make it look like Tozawa had a chance to actually beat him. Even getting with a massive tornado DDT. Not really a tornado, but getting a massive jumping DDT onto Ivar. Now, Ivar does turn it around. It's a lot back and forth. Ivar turns around. He's in the corner there. Tozawa runs at him. Ivar, his patented corner sit-down senton, squashes the holy hell out of Tozawa. Now, it turns around once again. Ivar goes for the top rope for a splash. However, he misses the splash. Tozawa takes over for a bit. He's down on the ground. Tozawa goes for some sort of move on the top, maybe a senton, top rope senton. And this is where things get weird. It is Valhalla. She jumps onto the ring apron to distract Tozawa. And this is taking maybe a minute here with Ivar lying on the ground patiently. So Valhalla gets on the ring apron there. Tozawa is stalled. And then it's Maxine Dupree pulls her down. And they have a good face-to-face, a face-off there. Maxine's like, oh no! Now Valhalla, she hasn't really had a wrestling match in over a year, perhaps. It's been a long time since Valhalla had a legitimate wrestling match, But regardless, Valhalla is so angry, she charges Maxine. And just like Valhalla pulling the perfect 4-point Otis, running herself right into the barricade there, knocking yourself out for a short period of time. And into the match, here we go. Tozawa, he finally decides to go for his senton. And for all the time that they wasted, that's with this distraction area, you think Ivar would have gotten up and done something. But no, he lays there and he's taking the senton and kicked right out of it. With great force, too. Now, here's where the very crazy part comes in. I'm not sure whose fault. I'm pretty sure it's not Ivar's fault. I'm not sure what happened. Tozawa took maybe try to oversell a bump. I don't know. But Ivar has a spinning heel kick. He hits Tozawa. Tozawa goes flying in the air. When Tozawa lands, he lands directly on top of his head. Not the back of his neck. The back of his head, like on top of his head. He lands upside down. I'm thinking, wow, this is it for Tozawa. I mean, if he manages to get through this match, he's going to have a vacation. He's going to have to look after that damn neck. Who knows? Who knows how bad it is? But as of this, maybe the adrenaline, he gets going on again. But this is bad. This is bad for Tozawa. Most likely an injury. Tozawa will be gone for a little bit after this match. So after that, Ivar, he climbs to the top rope. Somehow Tozawa gets back to his feet and tries to push. There's no way he's going to, by himself, push Ivar off the ropes there. So Ivar, with a little help for himself, he crouches himself on the top turnbuckle. And then we got ourselves the ending part of the match. Tozawa tries to go for a hurricanrana. But he's stopped. Ivar picks him up, switches him over. He's on a second rope. A second rope, world's most strongest slam. The world's most strongest slam off the second rope. And that was it for Tozawa. You know. And with his neck, who knows when he will be back. But yeah, the world's strongest slam, second rope, Tozawa crushed. It is over. Ivar and Valhalla celebrate. It's going to be good. So I'm really liking what Ivar is doing. This match proves that he can work with anybody. And he did a good match with, Akira Tozawa. This match, even though it was only 4 minutes, this was very close to being match of the night. You know, this was really good. But Gunther Miz, they stole the show, and they're the second match in. Shame, they should have been the first match. The first, or the last, but we have another match at the last anyways. So, moving on. We go into ring there with Seth friggin' Rollins. And he opens the show again with welcome to Monday Night Rollins. And he wants to continue to be the best world champion in the entire industry. I can say one thing for sure. He is the greatest champion in the WWE right now, I believe. I believe he's even better than, Ilya Dragunov. And we all know Roman Reigns, he's never there. The Roman Reigns' Universal Championship is pretty much irrelevant these days. So yeah, he's much better than Roman Reigns because he's never there. Barely ever there. Shameful. So yeah, and to the other companies, yeah, I would say there's a lot of legitimacy in Seth Rollins' statement of him being the best out there in the entire industry. Anyways, he talks about 2023 being good, but 2024 will be even better. Starting with day one, Raw versus Drew McIntyre for the world title. And speaking of Drew McIntyre, he pops down there. And he starts talking. Drew McIntyre, he has got some stuff to say. He's talking about the sacrifices that were made. Because Drew McIntyre, he's Scottish. He's Scottish! So he's sacrificed a lot to come down to America to make a living, to go after his dreams. And the dreams come at a severe cost of family. So he can barely get to his family. If they're sick or whatnot, he can't get there to watch over them. And is it all worth it? So he basically says this. He has to beat Seth Rollins this time for validation why he's there. And he says he would do whatever it takes. Now Seth Rollins grabs the mic back, gets a mic, and he starts going. Now, Drew McIntyre, he said also everything was good what he said, but Seth Rollins just cut him down so hard. It's like, wow, he made Drew McIntyre look like the fool. Absolute fool. And basically he says, are you sincere or are you just full of crap? Or are you just full of crap? Because you talk about, are you willing to cheat? Is the new Drew McIntyre different? Or is just the same as the old Drew McIntyre, basically? And the thing is, he just does not take, comes down to the basic bottom line, Drew McIntyre. He just does not take responsibility for his own actions. And now, in this whole thing, Drew McIntyre said he was proud of Seth Rollins for the fact that he was like the only one who did not kiss the ass of CM Punk. He called him a real leader and whatnot. But anyways, it comes down to this. CM Punk said right in the face of, or should I say, Seth Rollins said right in the face of CM Punk, that I hate you with all my fibers in my bones and my being. Hate. And it comes down to this. He went right up to Drew McIntyre and right to his face and says, I don't hate you. I pity you. Oof. Ooh, pity. No one wants someone else's pity. This sucks. So, of course, Drew McIntyre had nothing else to say. Because how can he top that? He was been outclassed again by Seth Rollins' mic skills. Drew McIntyre's mic skills is good. Seth Rollins' mic skills is excellent. It is excellent. So anyways, Drew McIntyre had nothing left to do but to attack Seth Rollins. Seth, defends himself, super kicks Drew McIntyre out the ring. Tope Suicidas him, just crushed him outside the ring there. But Seth Rollins was jumped off. He hits his head on the, the barricade there. And then he gets Alabama slammed right onto the stair steps. The steel steps that lead to the ring. And that's when the officials come down there to stop it all. But here we go. In 2 weeks' time, there's going to be a match. In 2 weeks' time. So Seth Rollins is down with the hurt hand. Now is this going to be the trope for their match? Does Seth Rollins have to not only beat Drew McIntyre to retain his title, but to overcome his injury that he just sustained while getting Alabama slammed onto the steel steps? So with that said, we go and have a little fun with the Teletubby Santa, which is not R-Truth. It is Kofi Kingston comes out to the ring again. He starts throwing shit, cheap swag to the crowd. And that's when Imperium, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser come down to the ring and attack Kofi Kingston, taking in the ring and attacking him. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I suppose Xavier Woods is going to come down there and save him. Whereas Xavier Woods, his partner, his tag team partner, fellow New Day member, nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen at all. But who is there? It's a Jey Uso. A Jey Uso. He runs down to the ring, and he clears the ring off. He throws both Giovanni and Ludwig outside the ring. And then he, over the top rope, Tope Suicida. And then he challenges Ludwig Kaiser to a match. Now, after coming back for commercial break, they start fighting. This match was approximately 11 minutes. This was a fun match. A lot of back and forth here. Mr. Sneakers, Jey Uso. Now, on the side of who's ringside? Giovanni Vinci. He's on the side of he's on ringside. But Kofi Kingston, he decided to take a powder. He decided to leave the match. It's like, well, you saved me. I'm gonna leave now. I got some more cheap swag to give away. It didn't say that, but he wasn't there for the beginning of the match. And then with that, we had a moment where the referee turns his back and Giovanni ends up punching Jey Uso in the face. One sheet. Will this happen more? Yes, it will. Now we got to move here. I call it the what's that? The cartwheel Santon. He's a cartwheel and it's Santon because he gets Ludwig gets Jey Uso as a fireman's carry and cartwheels. Like I say, it's self-explanatory, I suppose, but it's actually called not really. It's Wade Barrett called it the Kaiser roll, which is hilarious. Because the Kaiser roll is delicious. Okay, so after that, we go and now Jey Uso super kicks, knocks down Ludwig Kaiser. Referee turns his back on everything and checks. This is rarely done. He checks on to see if Ludwig's okay. And then Giovanni comes over there and jumps on a ring there because Jey Uso is going for some sort of splash probably. And then Giovanni pushes him off the ropes. Jey Uso hits his neck there on the ropes there, hangs himself up. But then after that, we got ourselves Kofi Kingston comes down to the ring. Finally comes down there and decides to do something. And he takes out Giovanni Vinci with a enziguri kick. He doesn't get kicked in the head. Anyways, inside the ring, there's a little bit of scuffle, but ends up with Jey Uso spearing the holy hell out of Ludwig Kaiser. And that was it. after the spear, a big old splash off the top rope, and they get to Ludwig Kaiser, and that's it for that match. So yeah, this is not good for these guys, how they look. Or Gunther is not proud of what they're doing, dropping the ball yet again. But main event, Jey Uso, he done his job. So now we go backstage with the Judgment Day, all the Judgment Day back there, and JD McDonough lost, so he's no longer part of the Judgment Day. And Damien Priest like, yeah, so I guess you're not part of Judgment Day anymore. And then Rhea Ripley comes in there, and she, I guess, because she's the den mother of Judgment Day, so she really makes all the calls, and she called the fact that JD McDonough is not, kicked out of the Judgment Day, so it's hilarious. So JD McDonough is still in the Judgment Day, and that stipulation meant nothing. But yeah, Rhea Ripley, she wants Ivy Nile at day 1. So, moving on. We go to our main event match. The men's undisputed tag team championship main event. It is your reigning and defending champions, Judgment Days, Finn Balor and Damien Priest versus the Creed brothers of Brutus Creed and Julius Creed. Now with them on their corners, we got ourselves Rhea Ripley on the Judgment Day side and Ivy Nile on the Creed brothers side. Now, before we get started with the actual match, Damien Priest, he's wearing his favorite shirt. It's got the peekaboo top, where you can see it's got a giant hole where his chest would be. His chest is, showing his cleavage there. Just a little peekaboo there. He just loves showing off a little bit. Like, look at that. Yeah, his gear has like white droplets coming down everything. You can skeet that to bad graphics, I suppose. Now here's the thing with this match here. It is with the tag ropes. They really don't matter in the thing because referee does not care if you do not use tag ropes. But I gotta say this: Bruce and Julius Creed, their lifeline is the tag rope. They will always hold it to get tagged in. They are by the book. Finn Balor, he's tag rope, but Damien Priest, he doesn't give two shits. Does not give two farts about the tag rope. I always say this: either use it all the time or don't use it at all. They should mark out the ring itself, zone out, so then they have zones where you have to be, where you can tag, so you don't have to use the ropes all the time. If you forget it, you just have to stand where you got to stand. That's simple as that. Or is it simple? Is anything really that simple? So let's go into the match. This was a lot of back and forth. This was about a 16-minute match. This was a lot of fun. So we got a moment here with Brutus outside the ring there, and he gets pushed over top the commentating table. We got an even point here where Rhea Ripley decides to attack Ivy Nile for no reason at all. Rhea Ripley gets Ivy Nile on her shoulders, like on the top of her shoulder for electric chair. Ivy Nile pops off, and then she switches around, gets Rhea Ripley on her shoulders. Now Ivy Nile, she is a petite woman in stature, but she's got muscles on top of muscles on top. She packed as much muscles as she possibly can on her petite frame. Now, even with that said, she's muscular as all hell. She picks up Rhea Ripley on her shoulders, and you can tell she was having some serious trouble keeping her up there because Rhea Ripley is, she's a much larger person than Ivy Nile, and she had trouble, but she ended up popping Rhea Ripley off, and she's supposed to smash her face onto the ring apron. It was silly. Anyways, going into the ring again, we got Finn Balor. He gets picked up on the electric chair by Julius Creed. Brutus Creed jumps off. He loves this stupid move. It is a Brutus ball, where the only thing it really does is just push over the electric chair drop. And that's all it really does. But anyways, Damien Priest breaks up that pin. He gets thrown out the ring there. Julius Creed then goes on top rope with a massive, like a front bump senton, just crushes, Damien Priest inside the ring. And then we got to a big finale here. It's crazy. It's It's Damien Priest picking up Julius Creed in a electric chair drop, right? Finn Balor goes up top rope, Who knows what he's going to do? Maybe he's going to do the Brutus ball. But it doesn't really matter. Brutus stops Finn Balor. Julius Creed pops off the shoulders of, Damian Priest. And then pops Damian Priest on his shoulders. And then Brutus Creed goes on top rope. A Brutus ball for, Damian Priest. Now, when Julius Creed tried to go for the pin, it's Finn Balor. He goes to top rope with a coup de grace onto the back, just squashing both Julius Creed and Damian Priest, who is on the bottom of the whole pile. So it's really weird. So you would think this would end Damian Priest even more, but apparently because Julius Creed was on top of Damian Priest, it didn't hurt Damian at all, that coup de grace. So after that, it's Finn Balor and Bruce Creed. They get thrown out. They leave the ring area. And then not too long later, it's Damian Priest somehow, after that he gets, he literally got coup de grace on as well. But he picks up Julius Creed with the South of Heaven chokeslam and ends the match. Retaining your championship belts is Finn Balor and Damian Priest. No. With that said, that wraps up with this episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, for our podcast listeners, stay tuned for some NXT right after the short break. But for our YouTube audience, that's it for this episode of the Wrestling Show. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have another wonderful episode. So, I've been your host, Lip Hazlewood, saying, I'll see you in a flippity flop.